Wait, so Alex, you were saying a little bit earlier that you think it's more so men that are operating like this, that are moving like this, as compared to women.
Yeah, the inability to commit, I do find it to be a lot of men. I mean, you are like that. Like, you talk
me?
about that.
Me?
Yeah.
Wait, how am I like?
You are very anti-marriage. You don't want to commit either. So this is like a phenomenon I'm seeing growing. I think a lot of the men that watch this show, I think they would agree that is where they fall, is they're very anti-commitment. And it's because they think that there are no women worth committing to. I understand that.
I would like to just point out, make one clarification. I don't have any qualms with commitment.
Just
I have
marriage.
Qualms with marriage.
Okay.
I could have a life partner that I am monogamous with, and I spend 20, 30 years, however fucking long it is. Marriage, on the other hand, you need not have marriage in order to be committed to somebody.
Got it. Okay.
So I'm not anti-commitment.
You're against the legal things that marriage entails.
Yeah,
and
I'm
sort
contract.
of what it locks you into.
Yeah, it's just there's the financial ramifications of marriage, and like the thing with marriage, I don't object to it from a religious standpoint, but the thing is that if there's ever an issue in the marriage, for example, let's say you're both religious, your wife is not likely to go to God or to her church or to her priest, whatever it is, for like the religion does not preside over the marriage. The state presides over the marriage. So she's going to seek recourse through the court system. She's going to go to the state. And so once you have the state involved, then you have alimony, then you have all these negative repercussions. Then you have to, if you're the breadwinner as a guy, not only do you have to pay for your lawyer in the event of a divorce, you have to pay for her lawyer. So it gets very nasty.
Don't you think that's why you need to choose very carefully, though?
That's absolutely.
But how
decision
like
you make.
And people change, though. People
Sure.
change over years, so no doubt that's an issue.
But I mean, how many people, like, when they get married, they're going into the marriage thinking, this is my person?
I think so many
And
people
then-
get married way too early. I think people get married. I got married at 29, and my wife was 26. And we sort of planned it out in a way where we lived together for a certain amount of time, and we spend all this time together. We traveled the world together. We did all these things. We know who we are, and we grew as a couple, and we became the people that we cannot be separated. Like the fact that she and my son and my mate Morgan, who's with us on this trip, are out in the car at the moment, or they're going around somewhere. Me being here, I'm just like, oh, I probably should be there. You know what I mean? Because we are almost joined at the hip. We do everything together, and the fact that marrying her was an important step for us. I think it obviously, being involved with the government and signing the contract and being involved in that sense, it does scare a lot of people, but I think it is an important move for a lot of people to make, just so you feel fucking good. It's such a good feeling. But weddings do cost a fuck ton of money too. It's a great way to spend $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on one day. It was
you could
awful.
just go to a courthouse,
Yeah, I
though,
was
if
gonna
you really
say.
just want to be married and not spend.
Yeah, but I'm not a
money.
redneck.
I mean,
I'm fancy
I'm
as
just saying,
fuck.
like, you can get married. And
Like,
not
yeah,
spend money.
sure,
Just
Steve-
most people don't.
Steve-O's sister could get married there, but not. It was a joke about Steve-O and the voice. I think that going somewhere nice is very important.
Would you say there's also something special about the contract of standing up in front of everyone and saying, hey, we're going to spend the rest of our lives
Because it's a
together?
culture thing.
Yeah.
It's not so much about religion. It's a culture thing. When that's what you do when you love this person more than anything else. You spend all your money and you get locked into a contract with them. It doesn't make sense when you think about it, like, with your brain.
It doesn't. Yeah, exactly.
Well, if everybody's so worried about the government repercussions, why not do it specifically through the church? Write out a contract for you and the person you're marrying through the church, and do it that way, and not
Because
legally
God's
get
not
married
real.
at all.
Oh God. Okay. Well.
Oh my god.
But can I say something to this point?
Let me just say one thing, and I'll
Okay.
let you come in
Okay.
here. Well, I mean, I'm not like, if you go to a church and you get married, I think the state would, even though you don't get like a marriage license, I'm pretty sure you're still deemed by the state to be married. And then once you get married, even if it's just through religion, then there's various legal triggers that occur. I mean, people often bring up prenup. Well, just get a prenup. But a prenups get thrown out. It's not going to save you if the woman is motivated enough. You just tell the judge there was coercion or fraudulent inducement. So prenups get thrown out. I don't know if I think prenups can address your assets that prior to marriage, but things that you earn in marriage, I think
Their
prenups
Aunt
can't
Meatball
cover.
donated $100.
I'm gonna have an attorney come
My
on
aunt
to
got
talk about this.
$30K a month for 20 years and millions in assets from a divorce. If you have any real amount of money, it makes no sense to get married.
Good point, Mr. Meatball.
Wait,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
have a question. Isn't it there a thing that like if you get married in other countries, it doesn't necessarily hold up? So you could still get married in another country, but then like not actually have the repercussions you're worried about?
I'm not.
Like
so,
that's why
so
like
you're
Brody
saying,
Jenner and like his like ex-wife, like apparently they weren't actually married because it was like in another country and they never got a marriage license here. So I think you could still have the commitment and celebration of getting married. And I think that you do it in certain countries, it doesn't hold up here, so you don't have to worry about that.
well, but then you of the sort of benefits that do exist, because I guess there are certain tax benefits or something if you get married. This, like if there's a health crisis, there's certain like benefits there, I guess. But
Do you think it matters when you make the money too? Because if you make the money together, and if she's a stay-at-home mum and she looks after the kids and allows you to go out and work, and by allows you, I mean to look after the kids,
Sure.
not lets you. Do you think that matters as well? Because once again, not to go back to my situation, but we made the money together. We bought the houses together. We did all that together. So if we were to divorce, then I'd be like, well, you deserve that.
deserves it,
You
yeah.
deserve that cash.
do you think that she still deserves it if she cheated on you?
Nah, fuck that bitch. She.
No, but here's the thing. Hold on, I'll let this come
Bender
in.
the offender donated $99. Christy, are you advocating for passport
I don't
brothers?
think that's what she's advocating for. She's just saying you can get married in a different country and perhaps the US would not, but you would be subject, if you ever went back to that country, you would be subject to their marriage laws. But and I would assume you need to go get divorced because you can't, if you're already married, you have to get divorced before you can remarry. In the US, your wife could participate in a gangbang, divorce you, and still get paid alimony.
Well, Steve Harvey's wife just cheated on him with like their personal chef
Yep.
and their butler or whatever, or the
Yep.
driver, or
She's
something.
demanding money.
And now she wants like $400 million for their divorce.
It just sounds like victim whining to me. Like I think the
Wait,
guys,
victim
you guys have to step up and be confident that you're picking the right woman.
Well, don't root the butler. I should explain root. Root means sex in Australia.
But you're removing hold on. But you're removing all accountability from women. Like
No,
as
I'm
if
not.
So step up, pick the right woman. But if she ends up cheating on, like,
Well, I
is
feel
that
like
still your fault for not like
in
people
Steve
cheat?
Harvey's situation, I feel like it's different because she had like 2 different relationships before then, and one of them was in jail. And Steve Harvey took in her she already had kids before him.
Okay.
She
So
took-
lots
Well,
of
he
red flags
picked-
see that he ignored.
he
Yeah,
picked
but
one.
it's the same.
Like he
Yeah.
took
Simp
her
Harvey.
in, took her kids
Simp
in,
Harvey.
adopted her kids, but she was messing with him while she was still with somebody else.
He
I
fucked up.
think he went
He
to jail.
fucked up.
That's why she started messing with him. But she already had kids by the dude who went
That's
to
a
jail.
yikes, dude.
If the guy
That's a
cheats, does the
yikes.
girl get more money than half?
What's that?
If the guy cheats, should the woman get
I'm
more
not
money
sure.
than
I
half?
think so.
On that,
I think
but
so.
I do know,
Okay,
like
but
if
the serious
there's
question-
infidelity,
Yeah.
that would not preclude you as the cheating partner from getting alimony.
So then if the other way around was true, like the woman made more money in the relationship,
Yeah.
then you would agree for the same sort of terms where if the man were to cheat, the man should not get any money?
Well, okay, I can talk about what could, what ought to be,
Like
what
in
should
your
be.
perfect
but-
world, like what's most ethical
Oh,
or
in my
moral?
perfect
If you're
world,
king of the world.
if there's infidelity, then I don't think I think that'd be a fair reason to not be subject to alimony. Whether you're the
I think
man
that
or
goes
the
both-
woman,
yeah,
it
it goes
go-
both
I think
it
both
goes
sides,
both ways.
that makes sense
But
to
the
me.
reality is that I mean I think it's something like 97% of alimony payments go from men to women. So I mean,
I think everyone should get a prenup, and if you cheat, you should not get a payout. Both ways, pretty straightforward.
Sure, but I mean, and also, but okay, to bring it back to Alex, just point of clarification because you mentioned commitment. I am perfectly prepared to have a long-term or lifelong monogamous relationship with a woman. what I'm not prepared to do is to needlessly involve the state with my love life. I don't want to allow the state to be judge, jury, and executioner over my hard-earned resources and money in the event of a divorce. So, like, the U.S. court system has very strong bias against men, and if there were changes made to the court system to better protect men from financial ruin in the event of divorce, then I might be a bit more obliged to get married. But until then, I don't sign contracts that don't benefit me.
What would they need to change, like to benefit, or to at least equal the playing field?
So, okay, there's a couple things. I think one, there needs to be like just a base cap on child support. So it doesn't matter, like, if whatever the bare minimum it takes to raise a kid, you can adjust for cost of living of that city or whatever. There's no world where if you choose to divorce someone and they're a high earner, that you should be getting, you no longer get the benefit of the lifestyle that person brings. So you get bare minimum child support. There should be a cap on child support. You should not be getting $400,000 a month in child support. When it comes to alimony, same thing. There are certainly good arguments for alimony. For example, if the woman, she chooses to disregard pursuing a career to be married to you and to have kids, it makes sense under those circumstances that as the guy, you should support your ex-wife. However, there ought to be a cap to alimony. And if she's involved with another guy, she gets remarried, then alimony should cease. Yeah. If she's able to find a new guy to support her, she's living with a new guy, then alimony should cease. There should be a cap on it. It shouldn't be based on your income. If you're making 200, like you hear these, like Dr. Dre, you hear all these guys who get absolutely wrecked in court because they have to pay like insane amount of alimony. If you choose to leave your partner, if you choose to initiate a divorce, you should get there should be a cap.
I think the problem with the cap, though, is if you live in that person's house or you own a couple of houses or whatever the situation is, particularly in relationships where there's a lot of money involved, if you live in a house that's still on a mortgage, you're going to need that exorbitant amount of money to pay it off. So it has to be a case by case.
Well, if the primary breadwinner keeps the house, then I don't know, they go to an apartment. The divorcee.
I guess it depends on like how bad the divorce ends. Because some divorces, you just realize, I don't love you anymore. Or it's a horrible situation.
Is that a
and
good,
cheats.
is not being in love with somebody a good reason to get a divorce?
No.
I absolutely think so.
Absolutely not. And in fact, I think it's inevitable that there will be times in a marriage where you're not in love with the other person, but that is the purpose of marriage.
Not me, I'm a DILF.
So that you can't just walk out like that. That commitment is what's supposed to drive you. So that even in the lulls, even in the low points, you're still committed to that person.
Well, yeah, what are the vows? Till death do us part, in sickness and in health. It says nothing about, I'm bored.
Yeah,
I'm feeling a little bored. I guess I can leave.
And I just seen the research today. Some additional research came out that said 54 with infidelity, 54% of women cheat because they're unhappy. And I just want to talk point on that unhappiness that leads to women cheating, and then essentially women cheat to get out of relationships. That just speaks to how unstable that marriages typically are, and how they operate on the whim of a woman's emotions, because women initiate divorce at a higher rate than men do. So that commitment that's made for sickness and in health till death do us part, that commitment is supposed to be honored. So when a woman feels that she doesn't love her husband anymore, or she's bored, or whatever the case may be, those principles are supposed to stand. Those pillars of those principles are supposed to stand. She's supposed to fight through that. And that's when I come back to your point when you said most people get married too young, or they don't know each other. You described how you and your wife developed your relationship. You said that you guys knew each other, you guys learned each other. A lot of people don't know how to properly vet. When they jump into relationships in the infatuation stage, they're not prepared for, we're gonna have these disagreements. Here's where our personalities don't align. Here's where our values don't align. And the minute those things rise to the surface, they want out. And typically it's the woman first, because the woman is the one who gets fed up first. She's the one who gets irritated first. She's the one who gets annoyed first, and she wants out. Typically, men don't expect that, because men we go cry in the car, we sit, we decompress, we go in our man cave or whatever the case may be, and then we come back, we feeling better, let's have sex, let's make up. But once that woman starts to feel bored or unhappy, the relationship is now in jeopardy. And that's the issue with men picking better women. We do have to pick better women. We have to pick women that we know are going to hold us down. Just like I said, going back to my situation, I seen what she can stand by me through. She stands by me through absolutely the worst of things that she doesn't agree with, because she loves me and she sees who I am and what I will become. So I can honor that. So now I know, I feel safe and secure that if I commit to this woman, I know this woman is going to be here even when she can't stand me, even when she doesn't love me. And that's why I feel that in the future I can marry her.
I have a question for the whole table that's semi-related.